to indicate what line it represents, like showing by showing something known as legends. So you must have seen a legend in a graph that you can see over here, say like indicates that the blue line represents something and the dashed line represents something else. So what we can do here is, suppose you have a list which contains some numbers from 0 to 5, and it is labeled as x. And we are trying to plot a value x as well as a value y, where y indicates 2 raised to n for every value in x. So x is a particular value from 0 to 6, and y is another value which shows from uh, 2 raised to from 0 to 6 is not there, sorry, 0 to 5. Similarly, another plot is also being done for a value from 0 to 5, where x ranges from 0 to 5. So it is 3 raised to that particular value x. So for every value in x that is labeled as n, we find out 3 raised to n. So we are trying to find 2 raised to x and 3 raised to x. Okay, so 2 raised to 0, 2 raised to 1, etc. till 2 raised to 5. Similarly, 3 raised to 0 till 3 raised to 5. So in order to do that, when we are drawing two different types of lines, one is a basic line with the simple solid line and it should be blue in color. And another one, we are not having any markers. So if you don't have any markers, you can leave the first entry as blank. So we are only specifying the line style, whether it is solid line or it is a dashed line. Then we are specifying the color, whether it is blue or it is red. And we can also have, after putting a comma, you can have something known as label. So this is a mathematical code like you do in LaTeX like this. There's a way of documenting that is inside a single dollar sign on both sides. You write 2 raised to x, or you can simply write in words like 2 raised to x or 3 raised to x. There's no need to. So this is trying to convert it into a, subscript or superscript form. So this is a superscript. When you put a hat symbol here, it indicates 2 raised to x. So even if your writing is like this, it is actually put in a mathematical mode. So automatically the output will come as a superscript like 2 raised to x. You can see the output here. Okay. Or you can simply write a text there, whatever you want as a label. Suppose you are indicating the number of subjects failed or the number of subjects passed. You can write those labels over there. And finally, after this labels are put in the plot command, you can write the command like legend. Okay, write the command legend, then only it will come appear like this. So this is how this indicates. The dash line indicates 2 raised to, 3 raised to x, and the solid blue line indicates 2 raised to x. So on. Another way is you can directly pass these arguments into legend. There's no need to put it in plot command. You can directly pass it to legend. But you must be careful that the first plot, whatever you have written, for that only the first legend argument will be taken. Similarly, the second plot argument, whichever you're taking, that will be the second argument inside legend. So you have to be careful while putting the arguments or line by line, like plot by plot, whichever is the line you have used or whichever is the format you have used. Based on that, you have to put the argument in order. Okay, so this is another way of representing. Either you can do it like this inside plot itself and then just simply call legend, or you can put the arguments inside the legend itself. So you have to put a square bracket as a list. You put it, okay, square bracket and first label comma second label. This is also same. Now there's also another thing that can be added, that is how to add grid lines. So grid lines is using the function grid, plt.grid. So grid is just for easy access to the points. You can see, you can measure where the correct x-axis and y-axis meets. Instead of looking at a blank background like this, you can have a grid of lines like this in a light color so that you can measure where each points meet. Okay, so you can just simply write plt.grid. That's all. That's nothing else. Okay. Now we'll see how to draw some of the charts like pie chart. We already saw line and dots, etc. Now we'll look at pie charts and bar charts. Similarly, there are many more. You can find it in the link that I'll be providing. So pie charts are, you can say a circle kind of, you can say a circle kind of chart with different colors where each portion is divided into sectors. That's why it is known as pie, isn't it? So what you have to do here, suppose that you have a pie chart with these 5 values. So I'm simply writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm writing plt.show. So the name of the function is pie. Okay, pi function you have to use, and inside that you can take a parameter x. The parameter x over here is a list of elements. It's a list. X is a list here. So list contains multiple elements. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what does it indicate by looking at the chart is basically this. You can see the smallest pi sector here shows the size of 1. The orange one here shows the size of 2. And the green shows the size of 3, the red one shows the size of 4, and the violet one shows the size of 5. So, but there's no label here, but this is how it is displayed. Now, we have no clue what each of the sector represents. So, what we can do is inside the pi function itself, the pi function starts from here till here. So, inside the pi function with the data, you can also give labels like this. The labels is also given as a list. So automatically for the first one, the first argument will be taken, that is history. And for the second one, the second argument will be taken, that is, so maybe this is showing the number of classes or the number of students registered for the particular subject. So the one shows history, the size of 2 shows English, and the 3 elements marked by this sector shows science, then math, and then programming. Okay, maybe the number of students registered for this particular subject. So how do you do it? Inside the pi function, you can have the data as well as the labels. Now there are also many customizations for this, but this is there are many parameters like auto PCT. That means you can show the automatic percentage. You can show the automatic percentage of each sector. So it will the entire circle is 100%. So automatically one by this particular thing will be divided into the percentage like this. So how many elements are there? 5 elements. So based on that, what is 1 out of 5? What will be 2 out of 5 and 3 out of 5? So we can have a percentage rating like this, and we can have different coloring schemes, and we can have a shadow effect. There are many features are available. So these are for your further references if you wish to look into. Now we'll look at bar chart. So bar chart is like a block-like chart like this. So in order to draw a bar chart, the function will be plt.bar. Okay. Now basic argument of a bar chart is x, the showing the coordinates on the x bar, that is x-axis, and what should be the height, that is on the y-axis, what should be the height of each bar chart. Okay. So suppose I'm using instead of x comma y, I'm directly giving a list here. First is the x and the second is the height. So this shows the values from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 to 6, and it is showing the square of each of the values. So 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, and so on. So suppose I want to plot each values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the x-axis, and I want to show the square of each on the y-axis. So the maximum value, that is 636, so it goes up till 36, and we draw plt.bar, we gave the inputs, and then we are showing the graph, so automatically the output will be like this. Now suppose that instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you want another set of label, you can give it like that, say A, B, C, D, E, F. So it will automatically come as A, B, C, D. You can give some other measurement labels there also. Okay, so this is how we do it. Now there are many options. Suppose that you want the labels as Java, C++, JavaScript, Python, and you want to show that these many students registered for it. What should be the width of the, by default it is pointed, width of the bar chart. What should be the color of the bar chart? What is the edge color? These are all predefined parameters. You can use it with values like this. So, and I've also given a title for this lab, that is favorite subjects. Okay, and then I do plt.show. So you can see automatically for each of the type, the width will be 1, and the boundary is there like red color, and inside it will be orange. So that is what is shown here. Color is equal to orange, edge color is equal to red. So this basic idea will be enough to draw a bar chart. These are extra features. Then you can also have a label to a container, like if you want to show what is this particular graph height, you can write the bar, it can be put up in something known as a container, and that container you can bar underscore, you can use the function bar underscore label to add the label to the value on the bar. So if you have a bar like this, on top of that you get a value like this. And there are many more options like how can you stack different types of bar charts together for showing different categories like food, transportation, electricity. So this is an example for that. You can have different list, then each of the bar is labeled like this, and how do you put it on top of each other using the bar label like this. That is also another option. There are also double bar charts for showing for in a particular weather, spring, summer, fall, or winter during different seasons. What is the lowest temperature that occurred? What is the highest temperature that occurred? So you know what is the low temperature and what is the high temperature. Now we plot the graph like this in two of them, and we put the X label and the Y label, and you can also have this ticks like this, that is x comma label. So whatever is the label that you have, you can show it in ticks. So like this you can have. Okay, and then let me just show once again. So the bar for the first one is C1, these are the values, and the second one, this is the value. So we know that this is the lowest temperature and this is the highest temperature. That is how they put it like this. Now the bar label is put on top of each one of the orange and the blue graphs. You can see that. And then you have the X label as season and the Y label as this. And then you have the season and temperature, and then X ticks is given as X comma labels. So you can see like this. And then finally you show the legend and show the graph. Okay. You can also change the side or the view of the graph by showing it as a horizontal bar graph. So the function for that is bar H to make it horizontal. Google, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and all the values related to that. What should be the height of it? Okay. What is the color for each one of them? You can give green, purple, blue, and red. So different colors will be given for different graphs. That way also you can do. So that is all.